Shalom, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, and Barak Yahushai. I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops, great millstone that taught us his word. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect across the planet Earth. I just want to talk about this new project called Project Esther. Basically, it's them trying to shut down free speech in the name of anti-Semitism. But ultimately, they want to get the profits, off them street corners, man. And, this is one of the many, censorship type legislation that they're pushing out there, which is allowing us to be inching closer and closer to that, famine of the word, because there's going to be a famine of food, but there's also going to be a famine of this word, man, teaching the truth of Yahweh Yahushai, man. Soon the prophets aren't going to be on the street corners no more. Soon you're not going to be able to watch a video about this truth, whether it be martial law or they're coming after certain guys, certain brothers, or they shut off, however they do it. But this is just one step closer to that. Basically, this is from a site called Nexus Project, and they're basically outlining Project Esther. And the key points that they have about Project Esther is Project Esther reframes protest as anti-Semitism and dissent as a national security threat. It was developed by minimal Jewish input and advances far-right agenda, not Jewish safety. Is already being implemented. Visa vocations, university funding cuts, faculty targeting. Project Esther is a policy initiative released by the Heritage Foundation in October 2024 and claims to be a national strategy to combat anti-Semitism. But in practice, it redefines anti-Semitism in ways that blur the line between legitimate protest and hate speech. Yeah, using anti-Semitism claims to shut down speech. That's what they're going to use, like hate speech and all that. Project Esther collapses, critical distinctions between anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism, peaceful protests and terrorist activity, criticism of Israel and support for Hamas. Says core components. The 44-page strategy outlines more than 40 proposed actions, including deportation of foreign students and faculty involved in pro-Palestinian activism, revocation of visas and green cards, designation of civil society groups as terrorist-linked, designation of civil society groups as terrorist-linked, part of defamation, calls terrorists and all that. Cuts to funding, federal funding for institutions, removal of curriculum and professors, coordination with states to suppress protests, monitoring of student groups and activist networks. So yeah, that's just all, all coming together, really to suppress the truth and to get the Israelites off the streets, man. But this is just Wikipedia. Just a little bit more information on Wikipedia on Project Esther. It says that Project Esther is a project of the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank based in Washington, D.C. It aims to suppress pro-Palestinian protests and what it classifies as anti-Semitism. Yeah, so anything is considered anti-Semitism nowadays, man. Even putting out the truth, saying, the Jews, the real Jews are black. Real Israelites are Negroes, Native Americans and Latinos. That's anti-Semitism. Um, According to them, the New York Times described Project Esther's goal as branding a broad range of critics of Israel as effectively a terrorist support network so that they could be deported, defunded, sued, fired, expelled, ostracized, and otherwise excluded from what it considers open society. Excluded from open society, thrown into concentration camps, thrown into alligator Alcatraz, detention centers and whatnot. But yeah, so, they're just coming up with all different types of legislation, think tanks, all different ideas of what they can do to suppress the truth and to suppress, free speech in this upcoming New World Order. But, it's all part of the Most High's plan, it all just sinks in, everything's falling in line. But the first scripture is Amos 8 and 11. Behold, for the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahushai, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east, and they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. Yeah, it's going to get so bad that they're going to be seeking answers. All the men of the Lord that they would walk by and disregard and fan their hand at, they're going to be looking for those men in these end days because it gets so bad, man. Martial law, time of Jacob's trouble, all that's coming down the pipe. But, those men are going to be off the streets, because they're going to be pushing this Project Esther and all these other different free speech initiatives, anti-free speech initiatives, really, to get the word out, man, to stop the word from being pushed. But that's all part of the script of Yahweh Shai, man. Yeah. From hearing the word, so those men are going to be on the streets. And when that happens, that'll let you know that, the elect has been woken up and we're closer than ever to this destruction, So there's going to come a time when those men aren't going to be out there no more, man. This word won't be pushed. And it's looking like it's coming real soon, man. This is 1 Corinthians 4 and 10, because there is going to be a persecution of the Israelites as well, man. Of the prophets. It always was. But only a few men are going to get, martyred, put to death, thrown into prison, or whatever. The Lord's going to deliver his men this time around. This is 1 Corinthians 4 and 10. We are fools for Yahushai's sake, but ye are wise in Yahushai. We are weak, but ye are strong. Ye are honorable, but we are despised. We're hated among men. We are despised out there, man. Amongst our own people and amongst these other nations, we're despised. Because we out there telling the truth. And that's why they want to end it. They want to put this to rest, So they come up with all this stuff, these little think tanks to come up with all different ideas to get the Israelites, man. Even to this present hour, we both hunger and thirst and are naked and are buffeted and have no certain dwelling place. In labor, working with our hands, being reviled, we bless. Being persecuted, we suffer it. We suffer the persecution on this side, the persecution that we go through now. But we're going to suffer the persecution that's going to come. Being defamed, we entreat. We are made as the filth of the world and are the offscouring of all things unto this day. And, we're hated out here, man. We're despised. But the Lord was hated, man. The Lord suffered it, so we're going to have to suffer it. I write not these things to shame you, But as my beloved sons, I warn you. You know. So yeah, all this is gonna happen to us, man. Being defamed, being persecuted. You just read the list of things that they want to do. But if you're considered a support or a terrorist support network, a terrorist against Israel, it's like they can be deported, defunded, sued, fired, expelled, ostracized, and otherwise excluded from what is considered open society. You're removed from open society, man. You're thrown into prisons and all that. But the Lord said, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. I'll be thou faithful unto death, and I'll give thee a crown of life. It's all about that faith at the end of the day, man, what the Lord put you through. This is the Lord that's behind all this. The Lord is behind all this, man. ICE, Project Esther, Time of Jacob's Trouble, the Mark of the Beast. The Lord is behind all of it, man. And these words, man, that's going to be a stability in these end days. This is Matthew 10:16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves, man. So you got to be wise as a serpent, man. You gotta let your words be smoother than butter out there when you're out in them streets. You gotta teach, that's what the Lord sent us to do. Teach, teach the word. You gotta be wise as serpents and harmless as doves, man, because they're coming. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. So the Lord's with you, all the way up until the end, man. The Spirit is with you, the Lord is with you. It says, give not no thought on how or what ye shall say or speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour. The Spirit's going to give you what to say in that hour, man. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father, which speaketh in you. So the Lord's with you all the way up to the very end, man. You just got to have that faith. Don't deny the Lord. Don't take that chip, man. The Lord is with you. The Lord put you in a situation. The Lord wants to see what you're going to do, man. It's all about having that faith at the end of the day, man. Yeah, I just wanted to bring out a little tidbit. This Project Esther, one of the many, divisive things this devil's going to come with to get the men of the Lord off the streets and to push that new world order, man. All this is right around the corner. But with that, shalom.